everyone, welcome back to my channel. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like October went by really quickly. Like, I was not even remotely prepared for Halloween this year. Not that I really ever care, but like, it's just such a weird, I'm like, how is it already November? Like, I remember thinking this time last year, like, are we gonna move? What are we gonna do? Like, I cannot fathom that an entire year has gone by already. You know what I mean? It's just like a trippy feeling. But anyways, because of that, it is a new month. You already know that means it's a favorites video. I'm so excited. And today I'm actually going to start it by going into the food category, which I never do. I usually always go beauty first and then food. But today I figured I'd switch it up for you. And for those of you who don't give a shit about the beauty stuff, you don't have to skip through the beginning part of my video. So welcome to the favorites video, and I hope you enjoy. Really in this, so this is also a really exciting kind of announcement, because I think that if you guys have been following me, obviously, you know I've been with Driven Nutrition for 7 years now, and I've loved them, no complaints, except for the fact that I have not successfully found a company that does a clear protein that isn't super weird tasting after the fact. Driven doesn't even have one. Buff Chicks is pretty good. Like, I do think that their kiwi strawberry one is good, but it's also very tart, and it does kind of give you that dry taste, you know, and you have to do a lot of things with that one in order to make it taste good, which I don't mind, because I don't mind putting in effort to things, but like, it's just not, I haven't found one that I love. And so on a whim, because let me tell you something, you know what got me on this? The ads. They did. And bought this with my own money, but before I tell you the exciting thing, and I was like, there's no way this is going to be good, okay? If you can hear, it's literally almost empty, and I have not even had it for a full month. I think that this is the best protein, be it clear protein, like okay, let me preface this though. If you don't like coconut flavor, like true coconut flavor, you're not gonna like this. I have an order coming of the lemon ice one, because someone else told me that was really good, so I'll let you know how that is. But I have been doing so many different like combinations. I did this with Dole pineapple juice, light pineapple juice, a scoop of this, shook it up in a shaker, poured it over ice, delicious. I did it with watermelon juice, so fire. It's good with plain water too, but I kind of like the strawberry coconut or lemonade coconut. I like a mix of something with coconut. All I have to do is I can put it with regular cold water, shake it. It does not get clumpy. It is so smooth, and it most importantly does not have that dry aftertaste that so many clear proteins have. I don't know why. I don't know what's so special about it. And then I went into my deep dive of this company because I've actually never tried it before. And I reached out to like the person that's in charge of, you know, all that stuff. And he was like, well, would you like to partner with us? And I was like, yes, I would. I would love to do that. So I think I'm going to be making the switch over to 1UP. So if you guys, and this is in stores too. So like, if you guys have ever tried it, let me know what you think. But as of this current moment, I have a code Mander with them that gives you guys 20% off, which is awesome. Because I will say it is a little bit on the expensive side in terms of, you know, supplements. But like I always say with any supplements, and Driven was the same way, like, I think the quality is what you're paying for. So like, I still am going to take things from Driven. I still love Driven. I've been, like I said, using them for a year. So just so you guys know, it's not like, oh, I'm just going to like do this company because they're giving me a code. I think it's very nice of them that they're doing that. But I also low-key have not drank anything else this month other than this protein. Now, will all the other supplements that they have stand up to this one? I don't know. I will let you know. But in the meantime, if you want to try it, Mander is 20% off, and report back. A couple of favorites videos ago, I think I shared these Joyride ropes with you guys, the cherry berry ropes, 5 grams of sugar, no junk, whatever, they're delicious. But then Michaela gifted us some sour strawberry ropes, which similarly, let me show you the inside. So like, they have that kind of, I don't want to say cream, because it's not really, but it's like a different texture on the inside. And for 4 pieces is 25 carb, 9 grams of fiber, and obviously no protein. So this is more or less the reason that they are calling this lower sugar, is because of the higher fiber, which is great, but just be cautious if you're eating a bunch of these at once. They're so good. I love these. I love them both, but I think this is just like, I'm a more sour candy kind of girl, so I prefer these, and I just think they're so yummy, and you get a lot more calorically or I should say you get a lot more for what the calories are. You know what I mean? I also don't have my hair extensions in today, and I feel like my hair looks really good. I cannot believe how much it's grown also over the last year, speaking of that. So shout out to healthy hair. Love to see it. Anyways, moving on to another healthy item, which I know you guys are going to laugh at me when I tell you this because I could totally just make this myself. I know, but they were gifted to me. Not by the company, by our family. And these are Date Better Hazelnut Praline. And the other one I had was the almond butter one, I think. It's basically just nut butter stuffed dates covered in chocolate. It's like, that's what they look like. And then there's 2 of these in the package. And I will say, interestingly enough, and this is a small business, so we have to, take some of the nutrition labels with a grain of salt. But for one of them, it's only 6.5 fat, 20 carb, and 2 protein. And there's nothing else in here other than the Medjool dates, hazelnuts, dark chocolate, and then the sea salt. So obviously, if you're someone who cares about quality of ingredients with like candies and things maybe to give your kids or something, these were so good. Like, so stinking good. And I feel like I should just make my own because that's very lazy of me. But it's like one of those things where it's like when someone else makes it for you, it's better. You know what I mean? So these are a 10 out of 10. If there's other flavors, I will be trying them. This is something that I think is so funny because this is like the most basic thing ever. But there's something about Trader Joe's candy that is slightly different than other candies. And I'm curious to know if you guys agree with me because I don't know. I have never liked a chocolate covered gummy until Trader Joe's. It's just interesting because like that's so not my thing, but I love their chocolate covered gummy bears. And I mean, there's nothing like macro friendly or healthy about these, right? But they're just different in some way. And I love them. I also don't know if this is like a seasonal thing, but they're so good. You know what I did find out was a seasonal thing from Trader Joe's that really irritates me is their pretzel buns. How are you going to tell me that pretzel buns are seasonal? In what world? They're so good. Trader Joe's pretzel buns are the best pretzel buns, I think, out of any supermarket brand I've ever tried. So if you have a recommendation for me for a pretzel bun, please let me know. But other than that, they're top of the list, so I guess I have to wait for next summer to eat them again. And then lastly, this isn't necessarily a food, but I am going to include it because I had to utilize this month. So interestingly enough, I had started to have these weird little episodes like after I worked out, even though I was having my carbs like immediately after my training session, where the only way that I could explain it and what I was telling Lainey was that like if you're epileptic and you have like auras before you have seizures, that's kind of what it felt like. Like it was almost like everything was like weird feeling and I would get really clammy and sweaty and I felt like I was going to pass out. And at first Lainey thought it was my blood pressure, and then we realized it wasn't that because it was being solved by eating carbs immediately when this would happen, like in the form of Sour Patch Kids. And so I didn't want to have to prick my finger multiple times a day, especially without Lainey. So I got a continuous glucose monitor and put it on my arm for a week or so this month. And I was monitoring my glucose levels throughout the month, which was absolutely fascinating. And it was true in the sense that after I was done training, even though I was having my post-workout shake and like a banana or an apple, whatever it was, immediately, like I had trained and then I was coaching 4:30, 5:30, 6:30. And I was snacking consistently, but I had such a weird episode. And when I was tracking it on the app, because it's cool, you can like sync it to, its own app. My sugar, like as soon as I was done working out, like literally within 15 to 20 minutes, it was just steadily declining. And it ended up getting to under 60, which like for a healthy adult is kind of like concerning. And so as soon as it got to under 60, I was like inhaling Sour Patch Kids. And then within 15, 20 minutes, it started creeping back up to 80. So I thought that was kind of interesting, but I'm telling you this because I had this from Driven for a while ago when I was competing, because this is a great tool to use if you are in CrossFit competitions, high rocks competitions, and you don't want to have a lot of carbs in your stomach. This is GlycoDrive, and like I said, still using Driven, still love them, going to be with them. It's just I'm adding more to my plate. When am I not? But okay. Anyways, this is just GlycoDrive, which is a highly branched glycolidextrin, which is just basically sugar. So this is essentially something that you can do when you are intra-workout, and it's rapid absorption, helps with your blood sugar, obviously, and gives you kind of energy in the form of carbohydrates, right? So if you're someone who does a highly endurance-based sport, or, even just like CrossFit, lifting, whatever, or you're someone who deals with that type of blood sugar crashing issues, this was a lifesaver for me, and it has continued to be, especially on days when I'm training for a long period of time and then coaching and not having like real meals right afterwards. And I love that this is unflavored, because I think like sometimes with that I'll start to feel nauseous, and so like I can't really eat anything normal like right after, you know what I mean? So this is really, really great intra workout, and I've done this as well, mixing it with like BCAAs or the hydration. So really, really love these, and I'm glad that I kind of added it back into my routine, especially because I just think that's super weird with my blood sugar. I don't know why that's happening, but maybe it's just because I'm getting older. I don't know. But okay, that is it for the food category. Let's move on into the beauty category. Some kind of interesting things here this month. And first, I want to talk about this because yet again, you know, this is something that I really had no hopes for. And especially when it either goes one of two ways. When you see something that's like overly hyped, it's either like it is really that good, so people are telling you, or they're getting paid to say it and it's really a piece of shit, but it's overly hyped because they're getting paid to say it. You know what I mean? So I really wasn't sure, especially with like at home devices, but you know that I'm a DIY girly. So this is the Iniza, I'm not sure. It's just from Amazon, the at home IPL laser hair removal device. And I've actually had this for a really long time, but I was not consistent enough with it to where I saw enough results, and because of that I was like, oh, it doesn't really work. And then for whatever reason I went down a rabbit hole about laser hair removal, because I really, really want to get laser hair removal but don't want to go through with it. And I was like, let me retry this and actually do it every other day. Now it says 2 to 3 times a week, but listen, I am Italian. I have very dark, very coarse hair on literally everywhere except my head. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to do it every other day, and you have to do it on like clean skin after you've shaved. And like for me, I have to shave my armpits every single day. Every day that I shower, I shave my armpits. And so basically I started doing this at the beginning of the month, and I was doing my armpits, my like jaw area where I have like, I can't think of what these are called. Oh, I'm losing my mind. Sideburns. Armpits in particular, though, that was like what I wanted to test, because I'll be honest, I don't have the patience to do this on my whole legs. And plus, most of my legs are pretty much covered in tattoos anyway, so you can't really tell when they're hairy, so like whatever. And so I have been doing this every single other day for the last 30 days, and I can tell you 100% that the hair on my armpits is coming in less and less. I would not say that it is less thick, at least not yet, but I think that they say like you have to have like between 4 to 6 weeks of usage, or 6 to 8 or something, for it to actually like start changing the density, I think. But I've noticed, because I'm someone who shaves my armpits every single day, that when I've been going to shave them every day, I'm like, oh, it's really not that bad. So this is the only thing obviously that would make a difference in that, and I really do think it works. The only downside to it is that you do have to stay very consistent with it, because I think if you stop doing it, they say that like you can do it once a week once you've reached your desired results, but who knows how long that's going to take. And then it's obviously tedious, because like you have to hold it takes a second, then move it, then hold it takes a second. For armpits, it's fine. For like if you were someone wanting to do more than that, it might be a little much. But for an at-home affordable option, 10 out of 10. Along with the hair removal, this is such a funny and niche thing that I'm going to include in this month's favorites videos, but I am so picky, like beyond picky about my tweezers. I must have like 9 or 10 pairs of tweezers, and I hate them, and I hate when they start to get like less sharp. And I've even purchased like the steel ones, those really expensive ones back in the day that everyone said were the best ones. I still didn't think they were the best ones. These little $6.99, super sharp at the tip, like they are extremely sharp. So like you have to be careful, because I have punctured myself with these. These are the best tweezers I've ever owned. And if you are Italian with dark, stubborn hairs, you know you need these in your life. Like truly, I'm obsessed with these tweezers. I will no longer be buying any other. And when I tell you, I have tried them all. Revlon, Tweezerman, the slanted, whatever the heck. This is the best tweezers. They are worth it, I promise you, especially if you have like short and stubborn hairs. Next up, we have something that I wanted to wait. This is longer than the 30 days. I would consider this to be, well, let's see, there's 70 pads in here. I have one left. and sometimes will use them twice. Like I'll only use one side and then put it back in there and then use the other side just to like save money and not be wasteful. I can tell you that I've had these for a couple of months now, and these are the Medicube Deep Vitamin C pads. I'm not someone who likes to use a lot of super strong things on my face because I sometimes have some sensitive skin with things like that, especially when there's like anything that doesn't really mesh well with tretinoin or with hydroquinone, because those are two things that I personally alternate in my own skincare routine. So these are just vitamin water, vitamin C derivative, and niacinamide 2%, which who knows, because the whole thing is that Chinese, Japanese, I'm not sure. And all it just says is the directions of how to wipe it on your face. So do we really know if this is what's in it? I don't know. But what I can tell you is after using these for 2 months, my skin is definitely brighter, and I love personally that it gets off any extra makeup that I may have left on. So for me, I do this as part of a morning routine and just also kind of to clean off anything that I may have missed, or like if I need to clean my face in the middle of the day. And I really, really like these, and they're not super strong. So this is definitely what I would consider to be a more affordable skincare option. And so far, the things I've tried from Medicube, I really like. But I don't know that it's like revolutionary, you know, but I am including it because I do really like them. They did not irritate my skin, and I think they do what they say they do. Now, on the flip side of that, let's talk about some expensive SkinCeuticals. Now, I love me some medical grade skincare. I do. I used to have to hook up in Raleigh when I would get my Botox from this lady. We became friends. She was amazing, and she would give me all the samples. They, you know, because like these brands want med spas to sell their items in the med spa. So like they would get tons and tons of stuff for free. So she would always give me the new things. And there's a couple of things from SkinCeuticals that I really, really liked, and like buying them makes me want to cry. Even though I got this from Derm Store and it was 20% off, it's still like ridiculous. However, this is the P-Tox Wrinkle Modulating Peptide Serum, improving the look of contraction lines, texture, and radiance, okay? And the one thing that I've noticed, especially with the peptides becoming all of the rage lately, is I do think that when it comes to texture specifically for me, I notice a huge difference with this product. Both this and the Cell Cycle Catalyst are very good like turnover products, although this one not necessarily turnover, but like in terms of hydrating and plumping and helping with fine lines and wrinkles and texture. It does really do what it says that it's supposed to do. For something like this, it's like, okay, I'm kind of willing to spend a little bit more on it because I really notice the difference. This is one of those things where it's like, even though it pains me to buy, I feel like it does enough like of a difference for me that I do think it's worth it. Whereas like, you know, I tried the gold plated, that was all the rage the last couple of months, and I really didn't feel like it did as much for me as other people were claiming, you know? So, and again, everyone's skin is so different, so who really knows at the end of the day? Like everyone can respond to something differently. But for me personally, the P-Tox and the Cell Cycle Catalyst are both really, really great serums, and I use them both at night, and I love them, just don't love the price tag. And lastly, in the beauty category, let me tell you something. I am someone who will never give up being tan. I don't care. You can pry my blonde hair from me, you can pry the lashes from me, the brows, whatever, but the tan will remain, okay? And I have probably tried, no joke, like 30 different self-tanners over the last 5 years as I've committed to no longer tanning in tanning beds, which by the way, I feel like a literal like lunatic when I say that. Like it's been 5 years since I've been in a tanning bed. Like that's revolutionary. Like girl, stop. But I really am very, very picky with my self-tanner. Everyone loves Bondi Sands and the new Technicolor one that everyone swore by. And I did love Loving Tan. That one was pretty good. The patchiness of it afterwards, though, not my favorite. But like my standards for self-tanner, if you will, are very high. And so one day, don't ask me how this thought came to my mind, but I was thinking about how when I used to work at Boca Tanning Club, and I was obsessed with the spray tan machine. And like, also let me tell you this, we used to spray tan and then go lay in the bed. or in the stand-up one. We were insane. There were some days that I tanned twice a day, okay? It was horrific. But nonetheless, in our spray tan, we used the brand Norvell. And I only know this because, like, obviously I would have to refill the spray tan machines and pour the big jugs in there and whatever. And I think I saw a girl on TikTok, she bought that, like the spray tan liquid, and then put it in a spray bottle and was doing it herself. Now that's a little too much for me. But when I was doing this research, I found that Norvell actually makes a Venetian self-tanning mousse with bronzer. Now, the Venetian level, at least in our tanning salon, was like the darkest level, and you could add bronzer to it if you want to. And I didn't know that they also made other things. They have a pH balancing spray that you spray on your skin beforehand, which, again, when I worked at Boca Tanning, we had the prep that you would do. Like if you did the Versa Spa, shout out to Versa Spa, you would do like the prep first, which was this, essentially like a pH balancer, then your spray tan, and then you could also add like moisture afterwards, and then we would go tan in the tanning bed afterwards, okay? So like when I tell you I know tan, I know tanner. So anywho, you know, I was like, let me just try this because I remember the Venetian color being really, really nice. Now, the first time I tried it, I didn't have the pH balancing spray and I just had this on its own. And personally, I didn't really feel that it was dark enough. I loved the color of it. Like it absolutely has like not too green, not too orange, but not too purple. Like it is truly a really nice mixture. And I always felt that way about the Norvell mixture in the regular tanning salons. And so the color was amazing, but it just wasn't dark enough for me. So then on my second attempt, I got the pH balancing spray because I knew I was going to do 2 layers. And I did this first and then added 2 coats of this, and it was perfect. I had multiple compliments on my tan. It was not streaky. And most importantly, this is again for me personally because I cannot stand this. I'm very particular with my like feels on my skin. And I hate when self-tanner makes you feel like you are wet all day. Like your skin is like, if you touch it, you're going to knock it, like slide on it. You know what I mean? And I don't like smelling. I don't like that icky self-tanner chemically smell. And I don't know necessarily if it has to do with the pH balancing spray beforehand or it's this or combination of the two, but I'm telling you, I did not smell and I had this on for almost 12 hours. It didn't get gross. It didn't get crusty dusty. It was awesome. And multiple people asked me what tan I had on. So it obviously looks different. Now, I will say I still have my Dolce Glow, still love it. I think that that's definitely like a staple for me because the only downside I'll say with this is that like if you do like a darker tan, you will probably have to add more than 1 layer. So it's a little bit more tedious, but the color payoff is a 10 out of 10. For me, not smelling, not feeling sticky and greasy and disgusting all day, that makes it worth it to me. So this combination will be carrying me through the next few months. So if you see me with, you know, some really dark skin in the next couple of months, don't just mind your business, okay? And lastly, this month, the only other thing that I wanted to give you guys for a recommendation outside of Demi Lovato's new album that just dropped a week ago, amazing. If you are any Lovatics on my channel, please let me know in the comments below. But my personal favorite off the album is Ghost. I just think it's amazing. It's so original, Demi. It's so freaking good. But honestly, I love everything. I love the entire album. It's amazing. And we're going to see her next year, May, at the Chase Center here in San Francisco. And I am just so excited because I thought personally when she did her Holy Fuck tour that that was her last time touring because she said it was. So I was like depressed thinking I was never going to see her again in concert, but I am now proven wrong and I'm so excited. So that has been literally on repeat for me the entire week. I can't even say month because it just came out on the 24th. And then we also just recently watched on Netflix The Perfect Neighbor. It's so Florida coded and it's so just like, it is sad. It is a very like sad and just disgusting like situation, but it was really good. And I think it needed to be done on Netflix. So I loved it. Hated Love is Blind this season. They're all cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Hated the reunion. That sucked. There really wasn't anything good on Netflix, in my opinion, this month. So hopefully we'll get some better shows. I know Selling Sunset just dropped again, so maybe that will be good for this upcoming month. But other than that, I didn't feel like there was a ton of really great Netflix shows this month. And Lainey's leaving us. Whatever. Leaving for academy. She's a big girl. That is all that I have for you in this favorites video. I hope that you enjoyed. As always, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and click that subscribe so you never miss Monday with Manders. And I will see you guys in next week's video.